Hi. Some time has passed since our last event, but during this time we worked hard on our software to make it more powerful and more user-friendly. We introduced IdVoip, the call traffic for medium and large research agencies with call centers. IdVoip has no fixed costs, no hidden costs, and it has extremely convenient rates. We also worked on IdTalk, our own switchboard with integrated predictive dialing function. IdTalk is available from some time now also on cloud, so with no need to install hardware and with incredible flexibility. All these products, all these services revolve around IdSurvey, which is our survey software. IdSurvey is the result of a 10-year experience with IdMonitor. We introduced it to the world and it got an astonishing reception. People said it's a step ahead of all other software in the market. Telephone surveys, web surveys, face-to-face surveys, all integrated. The integration and the usability have always been the ace in the hole for IdSurvey. But we want to go the extra mile. We went the extra mile, and today we're presenting you with our best product ever, IdSurvey 6. We're really proud of presenting IdSurvey 6. IdSurvey 6 is super powerful thanks to the many new features our team developed in more than 1 year of hard work. Every single characteristic was designed following our usual thinking, advanced professional functionalities, but still simple to use. Let's go straight to the point and unveil some of the main new things in IdSurvey 6. Claudia. Hi, I'm here today to present 3 of the many new features of IdSurvey. Let's start with the first one. Centralizing the work has always been IdSurvey prerogative. In fact, CATI, CAWI, and CAPI have always been perfectly integrated. Another crucial tool for surveys today is the massive email sender. And for the biggest issue, here is finding a tool that won't mark your email as spam. This task is quite a difficult one. There's a world leader in massive email delivery that does what it promises. MailChimp. We wanted a tool as powerful as MailChimp, as professional as MailChimp, as fast and simple as MailChimp. Basically, we wanted MailChimp. What we did is integrating the most powerful engine for email delivery within IdSurvey 6. And we called this tool Email Sender. How it works? All will be automatically integrated within your platform, and in CAWI settings, you'll be able to associate multiple campaigns to each survey. And for each campaign, you'll be able to customize text, decide and set reminders that will be sent after a specific number of days, just to those who didn't answer the interview. You can decide how many emails will be sent for each campaign, and most importantly, decide if you want to send invitation to all contacts associated to the survey or just to some. But that's not all. In addition to Standard Campaign, we also introduced Smart Campaign. In Smart Campaign, where you have to set quotas and upload a file of profile contacts, IdSurvey will send invitations to all matching contacts first, and then if needed, also to other contacts. With one click, you'll set the task and then IdSurvey will do the job for you in a simple and extremely easy way. It's our pride and joy, and we're sure it's going to be a tool that will make your job easier and make you proud of using IdSurvey. Let's move on to the second big news. This new functionality answers another request we often received, having a questionnaire preview. We know it's important to have a preview, a first look on questionnaire and logic, before putting the survey online and sending it to your respondents. We could add a questionnaire preview, but we didn't. We know how important it is to test not just the questionnaire or logic, but also all the rest. For example, let the interviewer test the survey before working on it, or send CAWI links, or check if quotas are correctly set, or see if contacts are the ones you wanted to add, and so on. Up to now, you could test the whole survey, but this required a long procedure. You had to create the test version first, then add contacts, interviewers, create the questionnaire, and, if all worked, you had to duplicate the survey, reassign contacts, set all information, and so on. What we asked ourselves was, can we do all this in one click? And the answer was yes. And we included it in IdSurvey 6, and we called it True Survey Test Mode. How it works? Your surveys will be set on test mode by default. The most important thing is that you won't have to duplicate your survey. You'll work in the same survey, both for tests and live work. During test mode, you'll create the questionnaire, associate contacts, interviewers, quotas, any setting you want. Then you'll be able to simulate interviews. And once this phase is completed, and you're sure your survey is ready to be active and go live, all you have to do is click on Go Live button, and all interviews done during test phase will be deleted, so that you'll start working in a new database without any license deduction. All will be done in one click. But that's not all. During test mode, you'll be able to see the preview in all methods, CATI, CAWI, and CAPI. And this preview will be exactly as the real one used by interviewers or respondents. The only difference we added in test mode is a menu that you can use to browse through questions so that, for example, if you have to see the last question of the questionnaire, you don't have to go up to complete the entire questionnaire and answer to all questions. As I said before, deleting all interviews done during test mode when you go live, you'll be always sure to have a clean database and to save all your licenses. Another important thing, in any moment, you'll be able to activate test mode. For example, if you need to edit the questionnaire, you can enable test mode again, do all your editing, test it, and then go live with the survey again with the same button. IdSurvey will delete all interviews done during test mode, the fake ones. and will save all interviews done while the survey was live. This new tool will save you hours, if not days of work. Third big news concerns filters and views. You will be able to filter your contacts according to endless parameters. And these parameters can be not just information related to the contact, but also the position of the contact in the survey flow. For example, you can filter all contacts with incorrect number, or all contacts inserted with first upload, or all contacts associated to CAWI module. Once you've filtered the list, you can save it as a view. Views can be private if you want to keep them for yourself, or shared if you want to share them with your team. Another big news concerns calls management. The new page of calls management includes all those sections you had before in Tools menu. Now you have them in this area, and you're able to see contacts, the automatic contacts, appointments, or those with an appointment with an interviewer, or you can see last contact status. Within calls management, you also have filters and views, where you have extra parameters to filter the list. For example, for appointment date or interviewer associated to the contact. With the new calls management and filter and views, your work and your CATI management will be extremely simplified and much quicker. Thank you. We've now seen 3 of the major new IdSurvey 6 features. We're sure they'll be essential for your work. But that's not all. IdSurvey 6 interface has always been simple and intuitive, but our commitment to make it even better never fails. Let's see now with Marco all big news related to the interface to create questions. The Question Builder. Hi. Question Builder is possibly IdSurvey section you use the most. It's the section where you design the questionnaire. And we introduce some changes also in this section. Some major changes. Let's see them together. Graphic interface. The graphic interface has been completely redesigned. This was done to work on a view that is much closer to the real interview. Up to now, we were used to working with a generic open-end question, labeled as a T icon in the graphic interface. Now, we've included a real text answer, a real numeral answer, and a real date answer. All these answer options, along with drop-down and autocomplete, will be displayed in the interface in a really clear way, exactly as they'll be shown to the respondent in the real interview. We deleted a lot of unnecessary buttons. For example, in answer options, you'll see buttons just when you do a mouse over, so just when you really need them. Also, the text editor, where you insert and edit question texts, will be displayed only when you actually need it. These features are not just graphic improvements, but solutions that will really improve how you work with IdSurvey. We've just seen that each element is represented in a coherent way in the graphic interface. But not just for answer options or questions. Also, other settings or conditions set will be displayed in new IdSurvey 6 interface. For example, if we set a display condition, a colored icon will be displayed so that you'll immediately see conditions you possibly set. And it's also possible to display the condition set with a mouse over on the icon. Lastly, another little news is that Save button and ID Code button are always displayed on top part of the window. This will allow you to save your work in any moment with no need to scroll the entire page. A few minutes ago, I was talking about text, numerical, and date answers, but that's not all. With IdSurvey 6, we introduced some new answer options, especially designed for web interviews. But you can obviously use them also for telephone or CAPI interviews. Slider. Slider question doesn't need a lot of explanations. It's much more intuitive than a numerical field and much more entertaining for the respondent. It has some basic settings like minimum and maximum value or writing labels. We also introduced another type of slider, the comparative slider. Let's imagine this question: do you prefer A or B? With comparative slider, you can understand this question better. You can ask how much do you prefer A and how much do you prefer B, all in one question. The slider will be indispensable since day one. Rating. We're used to express our opinion in interviews with rate from 1 to 10. But today we have a different way of expressing it. Just imagine Facebook Like or the emoticons you use every day on your smartphone. It's common to express yourself through smileys, stars, or likes. Also, for questionnaires, the way you communicate is really important, and with IdSurvey 6, you have the right tools. Rating question has stars, smileys, and likes. It's impossible not to answer. Photo. That's what you had to do up to now to add a photo question to your questionnaire. In IdSurvey 6, an actual photo answer is finally available. The photo question adds a drag-and-drop area where the respondent, during the interview, can drag his photo to answer, or if he's using a smartphone, he can also take the picture. These are the new IdSurvey 6 answer types. We also inserted a new question type, the drag-and-drop question. The drag-and-drop question complies with a rather complex issue. Let's make an example. Order these sports by preference. To simulate this type of question, you needed to opt for quite complex strategies, both for questionnaire programmers and final respondents. The drag and drop makes everything much easier. We also inserted another type of drag and drop. It's called drag and order. Let's make another example. Select sports you practice and order them by preference. The drag and order question answered to this type of requirement. It's incredible the time you'll save in questionnaire programming, but above all, how questionnaire will be better and easier to answer. This is drag and drop question. Lastly, let's move to another news, a long-awaited feature, questionnaire print. With IdSurvey 6, you can print the questionnaire. All graphical editing we've seen are displayed also in the print. This makes the printed questionnaire extremely easy and simple to read. You also have an option to print all filters and possible conditions set. I want to thank you all, and now it's time for Sandro to talk about another really important news regarding IdSurvey Question Builder, ID Code. Thank you. Hi everyone. Let's see now ID Code, the IdSurvey scripting tool. IdSurvey distinctive feature has always been the possibility to create the questionnaire using both the graphic interface and the code. ID code is the fastest way to program a questionnaire, and it's incredibly easy to learn. It is in fact possible to switch in any moment from the graphic interface to ID code, and this allows you to immediately see what the code is creating in the interface and which code is generated from the graphic interface with any editing. It's extremely easy to use it, also for a new user with no experience with ID code. All that is done with the graphic interface can be coded with ID code. So it's up to you to decide which method to use. Let's talk about ID Code 2 now, and let's see which new features we introduced. ID code was so easy and quick that we didn't feel editing on syntax was needed. But we added some tools that will make your work much faster. Full screen. You'll be able to finally display ID code in full screen, getting a better perspective on the questionnaire you're designing and on the work you're doing. It's a small thing, but it makes a big difference, and I'm sure you can't do without it. Search, find, and replace. How many times have you needed to use copy and paste function for complex questionnaires? And you had to use an external tool to make these procedures. From now on, you'll be able to do this in ID code interface. And so this will make changing filters on questions or answers much faster, for example. IntelliSense. This is probably the most important news. IntelliSense prompts in any part of the questionnaire all questions and answers codes, in addition to contact fields and ID code functions. To activate it, you just have to press Control button and spacebar while you're writing, and you'll display the list of options suggested. You can manually scroll the list or keep writing the code or the text to narrow options suggested. From now on, you don't have to remember the code of the page or question to write a condition, but you just have to remember part of that question or answer, and IntelliSense will display what we're looking for. It's an extremely easy tool that will save you a lot of time when you design complex logic conditions. Lastly, we added all new syntax for new question types: rating, slider, photo, and drag and drop. The syntax is extremely easy. In fact, to design a drag and drop question, you'll just need to type DD next to the code of the question. Last but not least, ID Code 2 has 100% backward compatibility. That means that all questionnaires designed with old ID code will still work with this version. This is ID Code 2. This is IdSurvey 6. Awesome! In a few minutes, we'll unveil more new characteristics. Improving doesn't just mean adding new features. We strongly believe communication with our customers is crucial. In fact, just with a continuous communication, we can guarantee a better user experience. For this reason, we designed and developed new tools. Lucia will introduce them to you. Hi, everyone. As Andrea said, to make IdSurvey better, we didn't stop just with features improvement, but we also targeted customer communication. The first tool we improved is IdSurvey 6 Interactive Guide. That is now displayed next to your working space, and it's much quicker. The guide illustrates all software features. But we realize that the guide is not enough to answer to more practical issues, as how to set display conditions, or why interviewers don't display contacts. That's why we introduced a big news, the knowledge base. The knowledge base is accessible for all customers, and it's an online catalog of step-by-step articles on how to solve most common issues. But it's also a catalog of articles on how to create more complex questionnaire flows. Articles are simple and precise, both for IdSurvey experts and beginners with the use of the software. In the knowledge base, articles can be browsed by category, or you can directly search an article by topic you're interested into. In following months, we'll insert within the knowledge base also mini video tutorials to make explanations even better. Articles are available in Italian and English, and you can access them from our website or from your IdSurvey homepage. As Andrea said, your feedback is crucial. It's because of your feedback that we manage to always improve our product. From some months now, we launched a web page where you can send your suggestions. We want to thank you for all your feedback received and for all those that will come. Lastly, I'd like to introduce our blog. The blog is not only about IdSurvey, but it's about Research World. The blog is already online, and you can find in there some interesting articles, as why adding "don't know" answer can damage your data. Blog articles are useful not just for beginners, but also for anyone who wants some research inspiration. All tools I presented to you are an opportunity to improve IdSurvey, but also to improve your work. Thank you. Thanks, Lucia. As seen before, IdSurvey 6 has a lot of new features, and we want you to make the most out of them. That's why we'll organize some online meetings where our support team will show you every new characteristic and will answer to all your questions. There will be 4 meetings in Italian and English. Some days before your IdSurvey update, you'll receive an email to subscribe to webinars. All will be free. And if you want a more customized service, you can still use our advanced support. And now I'll let Roldano speak about something you have close to your heart. Hi, everyone. As usual, I got the most difficult part, prices. As you know, with IdSurvey launch, we revised also price list for CAWI and CAPI. They're now much more competitive, and they don't have any fixed cost. In fact, there's no fixed cost for administrators and users connected to the system. And there's no fixed cost for on-cloud service or for basic support service. All these services are reserved to our active customers. Unlike competitors' solutions, we don't apply fixed costs. We ask you to pay just for CAWI and CAPI interviews you really use, or for CATI workstations on a daily rate. Also, customers with permanent CATI licenses or with an annual subscription can benefit of really competitive rates. I want to stress that also for CAWI and CAPI interviews, you can benefit of discounts that progressively increase according to amount purchased. And that's not all. We calculate prices on an annual basis. That means if you buy 50,000 CAWI interviews, you'll get a certain price range. In a second purchase, if you buy a considerably lower amount, for example 1,000 extra interviews, these 1,000 interviews will still benefit of the same price of the first 50,000. And if with a second purchase you'll enter another price range, for example buying 50,000 more interviews, for this second purchase you'll benefit of the price of the 100,000. Let's go to the point. How much is IdSurvey 6? 0. According to our tradition, customers won't pay for software updates or extra features. IdDirect, a product that a lot of you already know, a product for email delivery detached from IdSurvey, is retiring, and it will be replaced by our new and more powerful tool, the email sender that takes care of email delivery, and it's perfectly integrated with IdSurvey CAWI. Also for this feature, you have no fixed cost. The price is still the same as before. You'll pay €6 for 1,000 emails. You can buy packs with 24 months validity. We're so excited to let you try this tool that we decided to give each customer 10,000 free emails. You'll have them included in your IdSurvey 6 upgrade. The upgrade of the software to IdSurvey 6 will be done starting from November. Thank you for your time. I let Andrea speak now. IdSurvey 6 is amazing. It's the only software that integrates in one platform CATI, CAWI, and CAPI, and from now on, also email sending. To sum up, today we've seen email sender, test mode, filters and views, the new graphic interface to create questionnaires and new question types, as slider, rating, photo, and drag and drop. We've also seen questionnaire print and ID code too. Using IdSurvey, you'll discover many more new things as the new CAWI templates, redesigned from scratch. You now have basic and elaborate templates. You can change color combination with one click. New contacts import. Thanks to step-by-step procedure, you can associate Excel columns to database columns within IdSurvey. If the header is matching IdSurvey, the association is automatic. We also have new SSS export. You can now export results also in SSS format, which is a standard now in research. Anonymous CAWI distribution. As we did for CAPI, you can now administer web surveys also with anonymous distribution with no need to import a fake contact list. IdSurvey will automatically generate a new contact each time an interview starts. Last but not least, automatic updates. Thanks to automatic updates, you'll always have latest IdSurvey version. Every improvement, every new characteristics will be automatically installed on your on-cloud platform. There are 100 plus more new features that you'll discover using IdSurvey or browsing dedicated pages. IdSurvey 6 is a step ahead. I'd like to thank our development team for the enormous work they're doing. We commit to make our product and services better every day. Our team is already working on new things, new important features. We'll soon introduce statistics completely redesigned, for example, or a new redesigned CAPI app for mobile devices. Let me thank you for accepting our invite and for watching this presentation. Thank you and have a nice day.